What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream today. Jeez, man, I tell you what, people, it's 3 days on since the game now against Brighton, and I'm only just kind of getting over it. I'm still kind of trying to comprehend in my mind what happened in that game. But hey, we have to move forward. Today is the start of the rebuilding process and trying to move forward, because I can't lie, people. That one hurt me on the weekend, man. I just did not see that one coming. Before we start, let's go into Granit Xhaka mode, because the comments are flying in already. I don't want to miss any of your comments. And big up to everyone who tuned in for Arsenal Therapy yesterday, man. That was a legendary stream. Over 2 hours of just pure dealing with pain and emotion and all of that, people. So big up to everyone who tuned in for that. Great interaction on that. Really appreciate the support. And also appreciate everyone who tuned in today. Obviously, we did the Talk is Cheap show live this morning at 12 o'clock. And was it on at 12? Yeah, 12 o'clock it was on. Obviously, go and watch that if you haven't watched it already. Jordan was on there. He is a massive Arteta fan, so of course, you know, there was a lot of back and forths, but all very respectful, of course. So big up to them. Big up everyone tuned in on YouTube. Big up the Twitch gang, of course, for tuning in. Make sure you follow me on Twitch if you haven't already. We are going to hopefully get some gaming content up this weekend. I've been having all sorts going off. I have got a camera for it and stuff, so hopefully we get started on FIFA this weekend just to distract me from Arsenal. See you, Net. Big up, broads, in the chat. Hope you're well, my brother. Hope you are well. Thank you for tuning in. Big up to the unit. As always, people, Twitch gang, YouTube gang, but we're all one, people. We're all one. We need to start calling it Lacquer mode. You're damn right. You know what? I might have to. He's probably slower than Granit Xhaka right now. You know what I mean? Arteta needed therapy. Someone said, John said, can't wait for Kevin Campbell to come back on here. I messaged him on Sunday and he said, hopefully before the weekend he'll come on. So hopefully we get Kev on Thursday or Friday, something like that. I think I'll call that show The Gloves Are Off. For anybody that's a boxing fan, you know, they do a little preview before the fight. The gloves are off. I think that is going to be The Gloves Are Off this time, people. I can't lie. Hopefully Kev should be on Thursday, Friday, but I will keep you up to date. Curtis, bigger things will come for you soon. You expressions and troops deserve the best. Listen, big up everyone in the community, man. You know what I mean? Big up everyone in the community. Big C selling FIFA stream dream since 1980. Listen, we've started on Twitch, so we'll get there slowly. Fitz said that guy Jordan is part of the problem. The acceptability of Arteta's failings and putting him before Arsenal. I mean, listen, I was even speaking to Jordan off camera, and I'm like, listen, man, but I always say this, people. It's very difficult to change people's minds on things. And this is why you don't really see me argue with people on Twitter when they say things that I don't agree with. Because I just think, you know what, that's your opinion. It don't bother me. If you love the manager, if you don't think the manager's good enough, whatever. I'm just kind of like, it is what it is. Football is all about opinions at the end of the day. You know, so, and people find that very difficult to comprehend. It's like, you've got one opinion, someone's got a different one, that winds them up for some reason. It doesn't really bother me. I just want Arsenal fans to want the best for the club and whatever price that comes at. If that's Kroenke has to go, if that's Arteta has to go, Edu, Vinay, whether we need new players, whichever direction we got to go in, we need the best for the club. That's all I want people to understand, you know. By the way, yeah, come on, bro. If Benzi's playing in the Champions League against an English club, 7:45 tonight, people, Real Madrid against Chelsea, live watch-along. Make sure you tune in for that. Listen, you know me, people. Karim Benzema is probably, with Mbappe, my favourite striker in the world. So, you know we're doing that one, 7:45, people. Ammo said Big C won the legal debate with Jordan on Talk is Cheap. Listen, man, I let people decide, man. I let people decide. Beamer, Benz or Bentley. I remember that song, man. Who was that? Was that Lloyd Banks back in the day? King Buck said, birthday settings for me today. 36 and counting. Big up the whole community every time. Big up King Bucks. Happy birthday. Enjoy it. Don't let Arsenal mash it up. You know, keep it moving, people. Keep it moving. Sam said, "Did you see Robbie calling Ty deluded?" Oh man, big up Ty, man. Big up Ty. Again, he's got his own opinions. Do I agree with him? A lot of the time, no, but we got to be respectful, people. We move. Shaquille said, "I love the Talk is Cheap show. Jordan was smoking Big C indirectly about being on the Arteta train, but jumping off when he lost." You know what I mean? Man came in, he was all backing Arteta, and then he said, "Oh, we won't get top four, and we'll probably drop points against Southampton." So yeah, he was coming for me, but then he realised at the end. The black kit will be ruined with the Europa League badge. I can't lie, people. You know, maybe we get black badges so you can't see it. Anthony said, "You can have opinions, but facts are facts. And the fact is, Arteta has failed on numerous occasions. He's statistically one of our worst managers. These are facts. Arsenal before Arteta, 100%. And listen, my biggest thing, before we get into the show today, just to kind of round up where we are and with everything that's happening. The kind of thing what a lot of people have fired back at me over the last couple of days is people use this thing that start of the season, you didn't expect Arsenal to get top four. That's something that a lot of people are using at the moment. You didn't expect Arsenal to get top four, so you should accept it if Arsenal finish fifth or if we finish sixth. For me, things change in football. Football is an ever-changing game. I've played in it. I've coached in it. I've been involved in it. Football changes. 10 days ago, we were favourites for top four. Head and shoulders favourites. We had all our players fit. The sky was the limit. We could hear the Champions League music in the background. But very quickly, the radio station has changed and we can't hear the Champions League. 2 injuries to key players and 2 bad performances, and everything has changed. So I don't buy into this belief that because at the start of the season we shouldn't have got top four means we should accept not getting top four. That's not how football works. Nobody could have predicted Nuno to get sacked, Oli to get sacked, Ronaldo to not be a major success. Kane only had 5 goals at Christmas. So top four was in our hands 10 days ago. 10 days ago, we had both hands on it. It was ours to lose. We've literally threw an alley hoop and Conte's come and slam dunked it, you know? And for Tottenham to be the team that get fourth, for me, is an absolute disgrace. If Man United got it and Ronaldo had 25 goals and Pogba had 15 assists, I'd say, cool. They've got too much individual brilliance. We couldn't cope with them. But to see our rivals, the rivals that we have joked about for 2, 3, 4 decades, go and get that 4th place. That's like Liverpool seeing Everton go and get 4th or whatever over them. I know Tottenham are obviously better than Everton, but the fact it's Tottenham, if that doesn't hurt Arsenal fans, if that doesn't make people want to see something change, then I just don't know what will. I really don't know what will. And I don't see how we bridge the gap next season. Because Man United will get Ten Hag. They'll spend 180, 90 million. They'll get rid of Pogba and these players that haven't been performing. They'll get young, hungry players. Conte, with money, by the way, is a problem because he can attract players. And it's going to be even more difficult to get top four next year. How do we bridge that gap? How is Arteta going to convince top players to come to Arsenal next season? You know, even with Europa League, I don't think Europa League attracts top players. It's not like we've been in the Europa League for 1 or 2 years. It's been 4 or 5 years. In fact, we even been out of Europe for the last year. So I understand people saying start of the season, you didn't expect top four. So if you finish 6th, it's still progress. I get your point. Respectfully, I just don't agree with it. And the fact that Tottenham are going to probably be the team to get 4th, that, for me, should be an absolute alarm bell for Arsenal Football Club. It really should. But a lot of people, it won't be. It is what it is. It's opinions. It's opinions, people. MS45 said, Arteta's vaccine has been found. Once other teams did see how Vieira dealt with Arteta, every other team are now doing the same type of pressing. Arteta has good coaching ideas, but he is not a good coach. I would say that defeat against... I tell you what, the worrying thing was the way Palace beat us and the way Brighton beat us were a little bit different, but there were similarities. If you're playing against Arsenal now, you're going to say, right, get in their face, be physical, press them, and they can't cope. Their striker's not even going to be on the last defender, and double up on their two wide players, Saka and Martinelli. And we don't have that much else to hit people with. So, yeah, you make a good point. People have seen the blueprint of how to beat us. Yeah, we will be doing Champions League watch-along tonight and tomorrow night probably as well. We'll probably do City Atletico tomorrow. The only reason I won't probably do Liverpool, because I feel like that tie is over and it's probably not worth watching, really, with the City game still in the balance. But Chelsea, Real Madrid tonight, 7:45. Shaquille said, Big C, imagine wanting a 20k paying job. Now, if you end up landing a 40k job, would you joke about and lose that job? No, you're going to do everything to keep it. Listen, circumstances change all the time, people, you know, and that's the way life is, I'm afraid. Expressions was banter in the AFTV squad. I can imagine, of course he is. That's the game, innit? That's the game. But it is what it is. We are where we are. I'm going to try not to mention the Brighton game too much today, if I can. No matter what position we're in, we've got to try and look ahead. We can only beat what's in front of us now, if we can, and try somehow to keep ourselves in the mix. We play Southampton this week. They lost 6-0 to Chelsea at the weekend. On one hand, Southampton are dangerous because it's a wounded animal who are going to try and fight back. On the other hand, if we go there and score first, their heads will drop. They've just held 6. If we can go there and score first, their heads will drop. We've got to keep within touching distance of Tottenham by the time we get to that North London derby, you know. Otherwise, it's madness. So we'll have to see. It's peak for Chelsea tonight. Well, at least they're in that situation. Listen, if Chelsea score first tonight, they're back in it. If Madrid score first, it's over. Zeke said, geez, Big C in the building. Shouts to the best community on YouTube. Big up to all of you people. E. Ross said the season isn't over yet. Listen, as bad as the last 2 games have been, we're still in the mix. You know, as much as down as I am and as much as I think we're probably not going to get it, we're still in the mix. We've got to find a way. Stranger things have happened, people. Raekwon the chef, big up for the super chat, said, Big C, listen to your Villarreal reaction show from last year. All the problems are still the same. Poor tactics, defensive liabilities, and no goals. I mean, for me, let me tell you something about Mikel Arteta, in my opinion, before we get into the transfer news today. Mikel Arteta has good plans. I feel like he sees football in the right way in terms of how he wants to play, how he wants to set us up. You've seen at times some of the goals we've scored this season. You're like, wow, that's proper Arsenal. The problem is, it's very difficult to play like that every week if you don't have top quality players in all the right positions. Next to Partey, we don't have a top quality centre mid. Our centre backs at times have been exposed, you know, when the fullbacks have come out and our defence has looked a little bit more uneven. It's too specific a plan, in my opinion, where when you take a player out of it, 2 players out of it, it collapses, you know, and that's the problem. You have to have a plan B in the Premier League. When teams are in our face and they press us and they're physical, now what? How are you going to deal with that? You know, I remember Burnley at home earlier in the season. I went to that. Burnley put 10 behind the ball. We couldn't break them down. We started putting high crosses into Lacazette. They ate every single cross up. You have to have more than one way of beating teams in the Premier League. This is why the Premier League is the most intense and difficult league in the world, because everybody can beat you in this league, and you have to have more than one system. It has to be versatile. For me, we're predictable, and that's the reason when it comes to crunch time, we drop points, we get beat, and that for me is the problem. And this is why I actually think if Arteta had gone somewhere and managed for a couple of years, then come to Arsenal, I think he may have been a far better manager than the manager he is now. The problem is he's learning on the job. We are Arsenal. We're not Southampton. We're not Brighton. You shouldn't have a manager learning on the job at such a big football club where the stakes are so high. So for me, that is something he has to figure out. Why do strikers not score goals at Arsenal? Why people said he fixed the defence if we only conceded 3 less than last season? And like you're saying here, South London's finest, outside of Odegaard, if you shut him down, where do the chances come from? We got to create more chances. We got to be a bit more free-flowing when we go forward. I think he's got to take the shackles off these players for these last 8 games and say, you know, sometimes go and start Pepe and tell him, go and rip that fullback to pieces. Do something a little bit different, you know. And I hope he does that this weekend. I've said before, I would love to see Gabriel Martinelli up front. I think we've got to do something different because for me, if I'm a centre-back right now playing against Arsenal, I'm looking forward to playing against Lacazette. Because number one, he isn't going to play near me. He's not going to shoot. He's going to drop deep, help the team, and get nowhere near the goal. That's easy. If I'm playing against Gabriel Martinelli, although he's not a striker, although he's not going to be probably amazing with his back to goal, if he faces me up, I'm going to be scared of his pace. I might drop back 10 yards because I know how quick he is. I know he's going to press. I think we need to give Southampton something different to worry about. I would definitely play Martinelli up front against Southampton. They've just lost 6-0. Their defence will be low on confidence. Get a bright, energetic Martinelli, high pressing, put them under pressure. Don't let them off by letting them play against Lacazette. That's just my opinion. Goody Footy said, well said, Curtis, spot on. Cho said, you're an excellent pundit. You see the game properly. Mike said, distorted the team, in my opinion. Arteta doesn't cope with hard times and we're a big club. We need a man that takes the wave calm. Yeah, you got to be able to take that. Shash said, I would play Odegaard, false 9 and drop Lacazette. Play Pepe then. I don't know. That false 9 thing scares me, man. Shibe said, open question to all the community. What's his effing tactics? Oh, dear. GSB don't agree, said, I think you've got this wrong, Curtis. I don't think another manager would have done any better. Close but no cigar is about right with the players we have. First of all, different manager may have signed different players. Different manager would have probably addressed the squad better in January rather than selling 6 and buying none. And a different manager, I think, would have changed things and done something different, you know, played different tactics that maybe suit the team better. So respectfully, I disagree with you, bro. Right, let's get into the transfers. We knew this was going to happen anyway, people. We knew this was going to happen. I just want to let you know today, and some of you may have got this as well. 12 o'clock today, get an email from Arsenal. And I'm thinking, right, what's this? What's happened? Maybe press conference. I don't know. They're going to talk about something. And the email is, shop the Arsenal Essentials collection. Get your brand new Arsenal Essentials, people. They've got a sale on right now at the Arsenal Armoury. New hoodies and stuff. So I think I'll give that one a miss, mate. Thanks. Yeah, especially if you've lost your last 2 games and potentially bottled top 4. But they want me to buy an Arsenal hoodie. Yeah, that'll make everything better, won't it? But yeah, we move, people. I just thought I'd let you know. Some of you may have had that same email this week. If I was them, I'd be very quiet on social media after the last 7 days we've had at Arsenal. But it is what it is. A new hoodie, that'll make everything fine. That might get us in the top 4. Hey, you never know, people. 1,100 of you in the chat. Make sure you follow me on Twitch. We're live on Twitch now. Subscribe and like. All of that usual good stuff. Let's get into some transfers. One thing Arsenal do is when we're struggling, they'll throw out transfer rumours all over the place, you know. But let's talk about this one. We've clearly got a massive, massive problem in midfield. Ruben Neves, according to Sky Sports are running with it today and yesterday as well. Ruben Neves is apparently Arsenal's top midfield target for this summer. It's believed Wolves, although they were asking for crazy money earlier in the season, would be willing to sell him for between 50 and 60 million pounds. Now, I'm briefly going to give you my opinion and I want to see your thoughts on this in the comments. First of all, I like Ruben Neves. Even though he was salty about Arsenal, I think he actually deep down would like to play for Arsenal. I think he's quality on the ball and I think he's better than Granit Xhaka. That is for damn sure. And yeah, GSB, it's respectful, man. As long as it's respectful, that's what we're here for, to debate, bro. Not everyone has to agree. The only thing for me, Ruben Neves at 50 to 60 million pounds, are we overpaying for him at that price? We still don't know how he's going to perform at a bigger club. You know, sometimes Wolves pressure's not quite the same. Is he worth 50 to 60 million? So, in fact, let's get the first poll of the day up. We got to get a poll out, haven't we? Would you pay? You know what? Let's go at the lower end. They said 50 to 60. So, would you pay 50 million for Ruben Neves? I suppose it may be the going rate right now for a decent midfielder. He's being linked with Barcelona as well. So, automatically, that's going to drive the price up. Would you pay 50 million for Ruben Neves? First poll of the day, people. First poll of the day. I would like to be hearing 30 to 40, but you're not going to get him for that. He's instrumental in their midfield. I have to say, I think he is. I agree. I think he's a quality player. I think he's a quality player. I'm not sure if he starts for Portugal. The last game I saw, he wasn't starting. But he is a good player. So hit that poll up. 50 to 60 million seems a little bit more than I would have liked to have paid for him. Certainly if it's towards that 60 as well, I think that's a little bit too much for him, if I'm being honest. LT Gaming said, you see the latest Daily Nunez news. We're going to talk Nunez. Don't you worry about that, my friend. He's up next. Big up NRB10, by the way, who said, yes, Big C, passed my driving test today. I'm gassed. Big up your damn self, bro. I'm telling you now. I still remember that day, and it's a great feeling, man. Anybody who's passed their test, geez, man. What a day that is when you get that license, that freedom. So big up your damn self, NRB10. The People's Champ said 45 mil max. You make a great point there, family podcast, man. We paid 50 for Ben White. This is a no-brainer. And that's the problem, innit? You know, when you've paid 50 for a half-decent centre-back from Brighton, the first thing Wolves are going to do is go, hang on, this is our best centre midfielder, Portuguese international. You paid 50 million for Ben White. You better drop at least 50 on Ruben Neves. So we kind of held ourselves back a little bit with that. Penalty Spot said, with all these targets, we know they are good players currently, but will Arteta make them great or break them? Not sure Arteta is experienced enough to improve senior players. It's a concern. That's a good point, you know. Has Arteta improved an experienced player since he's been at the club? Is Partey better than when we signed him? I'm thinking of players who are maybe 25 plus 30. Aubameyang got worse. Laka, I'd say, has got worse. Pepe's got worse. You could maybe say Granit Xhaka's got better, maybe, but he's still not particularly good. So, yeah, maybe he hasn't improved anyone. Shaib, I'm going to have to... I didn't realise the vote doesn't go on Twitch on both. So, next stream, I'll figure out how to put a vote up on Twitch and YouTube. So, apologies for that. Sam said, Xhaka on Neves swap deal. Listen, I don't think they're stupid over there. I can't see any club saying, come and take Ruben Neves and give us Granit Xhaka. That's just not going to happen. Penalty Spot with the facts there, 100%. Ex-Arsenal fan, what a name, said, according to reports, Arsenal have... Now, listen. It's early in the week. We ain't got time for this. I'm going on Twitter right now. I'm hoping, obviously, that this is just newspaper talk, but damn. We just lost a couple games. The last thing you want to read is Arsenal being linked to... Oh, my days. Do you know what? We'll come back to Ruben Neves. We got to come away from this. Now, first of all, I think this is in... Let me get this up. First of all, it's in the Sun newspaper, right? So take this with a pinch of salt. Don't expect this to happen. However, you know when a man's cut me from the Ruben Neves story, I had to cut that because this can't run. This thing here can't run, people. I'm emotional right now as an Arsenal fan. Let me tell you, I'm vexed. That was a bad week for Arsenal. This better never run at Arsenal Football Club, ever. Don't ever bring this bum to Arsenal Football Club. I don't care if it's 20 mil, 10 mil, 5 mil, free transfer or loan. Don't bring this guy to Arsenal under any circumstances. It could be paper talk, so I'm not going to get carried away. But it's Arsenal, and something tells me that there could be some truth in this. I don't know. Let's not get involved. Big up ex-Arsenal fan for the breaking news, man. Man cut me mid Ruben Neves talk, man. Jeez. South London's finest said, I'm sorry, Edu, come outside if this is true. It just worries me because we were linked with him in January. The Spanish connection to Arteta. And, like, it would be so typical of Arsenal. He's actually not bad in the air. And clearly, he wants a striker that can play in the air. He's 25 mil. He would dress this up as a good signing. He'd go, oh, you know, Spanish international, played for all these big clubs. If this happens, we'll be off this channel for an extended break over the summer, I'm telling you. But Alvar, no. I don't see this happening. I've got to be honest, but it worries me. Andrew said, Neves ain't coming. Why would Arsenal spend so much propaganda on Xhaka and replace him next summer? They're more likely to buy Arthur Melo, who's not better than Xhaka, like Lokonga. That's their policy. See, the worry for me, and you make a good point there, the worry for me is last summer, Edu said they didn't want to sign an upgrade on Xhaka and Thomas Partey. Now, surely you don't do that for 2 summers in a row. But the problem you've got, most people have said this season that Xhaka and Partey has been a solid partnership. They've played all right together. We obviously want an upgrade on Granit Xhaka, but in the eyes of Mikel Arteta, he might look at it and say, they've played well. I still don't want to upgrade them. I don't know. Because I don't think Xhaka will be happy sitting on the bench at Arsenal. I think if Xhaka gets dropped, he'll want to leave. So anyway, let's see, people. Let's see. Big up the Ludaguna in the chat. Yes. Hey, finally, we're streaming on both, man. Big up your damn self, bro. Yardman said he's better than Laka. Bro, you're probably better than Laka right now. The man had a shot on target in 4 games. You know, I'd fancy anyone in this comment to just have a shot just on hype. You know, like I said, Trent shot from the halfway line the other day. Anyway, let me get off this, people. Cause boy, we've had enough to deal with. I don't want to have a nightmare of Alvaro Morata playing up front. But anyway, yeah, it's in the sun, so I don't think it's true. I hope it's not true, because if it is, we're done out here. But what striker would you sign, Curtis? For me, I've said before, I like Darwin Nunez. I like Osimhen. Those are probably the 2 top targets for me. The striker market is just weak right now. It really is. The problem you've got, Osimhen would cost a fortune. And in Europa League, I don't think Arsenal would drop that kind of dough. And Napoli will probably be in the Champions League, so he may not even want to leave. And Nunez, well, we're going to talk about Nunez now. We've got the poll up for Ruben Neves, so we'll end that one now and see where you're at with that. Would you pay 50 million for Ruben Neves? And we are saying, what have we got? 51% of you say yes. 48% say no. I don't understand why YouTube just disappears 1%. I don't know why. Just about you would take him. But like someone said there in the comments, you pay 50 mil for Ben White, you're going to pay 50 mil for Ruben Neves. For me, I think I'd like to see him 10 million cheaper than that. But he is a good player. He's an upgrade on what we've got. AFU said, Big C, we are 16th in big chances created. I don't think because we don't have creative players, but with Laka being in midfield, who exactly are we meant to be creating chances for? And I agree with you there. As much as Lacazette for me is nowhere near the answer, I would like to see Lacazette actually play as a striker in a game where you're actually telling him, don't drop back. Don't drop back. Stay up there. Be a striker. Get shots off. Play different. Dragging him back into midfield and getting him babysitting, it just doesn't help, you know. So it is what it is. 40 million for Neves, extra 10 million for the BTEC Grealish here. Yeah, exactly. Arteta will love that. Craig said Curtis Fernandinho is leaving Man City. No. Don't do that. Don't do that one, Craig. His legs have gone. They've been long gone. He's been able to get away with it in Man City's team because they move the ball extremely well. You bring Fernandinho to Arsenal, it will look like a pensioner. No disrespect to Fernandinho because he's been a colossus at Manchester City, but don't do that. Don't get any ideas there, Craig. Top flight security of the world, Craig. Not just the city, the world. Fernandinho, yeah, man, in Man City's team, he can look good. He can't look good in Arsenal's team. HZ Season said, thoughts on Ivan Toney. He's good. I don't think he's the answer. But he is good. He's better than Lacazette. Let's put it that way. He's better than Lacazette and Eddie Nketiah. My problem is he would cost 50 million plus because they paid over 30 mil for Watkins, and this guy broke his record, so they're gonna want 50 million plus. Is Ivan Toney worth 50 million to Arsenal? I'm not sure. Paulie said, Curtis would give you my Prime sub, but I'm not seeing it on your Twitch yet. I don't think the channel is fully monetized yet. I got some email saying you now qualify. I think it takes a few days for it to all the subs and all of that business, so bear with me, people, with all that kind of stuff. Tony won't ever be a big six striker, in my opinion. Hard to say until he goes there, really, isn't it? You know, it's difficult. Marcus Rashford is another target. Well, I'm falling back on my Rashford debate because I watched him against Everton the other day and I was like, damn, what's happened to this guy? But again, I am still of the belief that Rashford needs a change of environment. He could be done there. I still don't think he's a completely washed-up player. I just think he needs a change of environment. Broad said, Tony has great determination, though, not going to lie. Imagine this guy went to Newcastle, fell all the way down the leagues and had to climb all the way back up. That installs a certain mentality in your mindset. And I do think he's ready to go somewhere. It's just who takes the chance on him. Tony is a penalty man. Calling him a penalty merchant, yeah? Joel said, top flight security of the world, Craig. What a film, by the way. If you've seen it, you know, man. Friday after next settings. Make sure you like the video, people. 1,300 of you in the chat. And like I said, people, follow me on Twitch. I will be back tonight, 7:45, Real Madrid against Chelsea. See, I'm having to watch football of other teams to get over what Arsenal do to me on the weekend. You know, they ruin the weekend, so then I have to watch other teams to start enjoying football again. I had to watch Man City, Liverpool to appreciate football. Then I'm going to watch Champions League. Then I'll play FIFA and batter some teams, and then I've rebuilt myself over the next 7 days that I love football again. Then we'll probably go Southampton, drop points, and I'll be straight back to the bottom. So, hey, it is what it is. Hopefully we go to Southampton and get the win. Benzema or Prime Anelka? It's a horrible question because I love Prime Anelka. He's one of my favourite ever strikers. You would have to say that Benzi's had a better career than him. He's a better all-round footballer. Anelka was quicker and probably more lethal in that pace way. But Benzi as an all-round player, I would say, is better. FIFA therapy, bro. Yeah, I'm having to go on FIFA and just batter teams, score goals. I can't keep watching Lacazette not shoot. Curtis, can you see Chelsea stopping Madrid from scoring? I can't, man. Benzi's going to bag again tonight, in my opinion. Because if they score first, they're finished. So I think Madrid will look for that goal. Would you take Hazard? I think that's a backward step. I think Hazard's done. I think he's finished. I think he's retired at Madrid. He looks like he's ate a bit of food there and he's just chilling. HZ said Chelsea winning tonight. It's a big game for them. I'm looking forward to it. Let's talk about Darwin Nunez. Daily Darwin. The darling of the channel now. The new striker that we're going to talk about for the next 3 months until he joins someone else, people. Darwin Nunez. Now, there are multiple reports about this guy today. Some positive and some not so positive. Maybe I have to bring... I used to go do-do-do for Daily Doosan. It's Daily Darwin now. We'll talk about him for the next 12 weeks and ultimately he will sign for someone else. This is the latest news surrounding Darwin Nunez. Right, first of all, apparently he's allowed to leave for 80 million euros, which I believe is around 67 million pounds, which is a lot of money. But you look at the current market, we were going to pay 75 million for Alexander Isak, who scored 5 goals this season. He missed a penalty at the weekend and looks like a bit of a bum this season in La Liga. Darwin Nunez apparently is available for 67 million pounds this summer. Right, that's the good news. Where it becomes bad news, 2 things. First story here in the press today. Chelsea apparently could sell Romelu Lukaku to PSG as a replacement for Kylian Mbappe, which would lead them to go in for Darwin Nunez. Apparently, Thomas Tuchel has been very impressed with him. He sees him as a long-term striker at Chelsea. Lukaku to PSG, Nunez to Chelsea. That's the first story of the day, people. Obviously, with Thomas Tuchel, with Champions League football, If Chelsea are in for him, he probably goes to Chelsea ahead of Arsenal. That's the first thing. The only other thing I would say against that, how could Chelsea be doing a deal for so much money when they don't even have an owner at the moment? It's all right, Thomas Tuchel saying he wants to buy him. Where's the money coming from? You know, they don't even have an owner yet. The owner might not even give him that kind of money to go and buy players. So the Chelsea story is a bit of a non-runner for me. Also, Mbappe, there's rumours he could be staying. So that story, I kind of throw that one out. I'm being optimistic here, people. I'm trying to be positive. Didn't want Nunez anyway if he goes... Yeah, listen, if he goes Chelsea, mate, I'll be saying, that guy in the Portuguese league, I don't want him. He's garbage, mate. But if we sign him, I will say he's the best young striker in the world after Mbappe and Haaland. Shameless settings, people. That's the first story. Second story of the day is apparently Tottenham are looking at him as well, people. They want another striker. There's also rumours that Conte could go to 2 up front next season at Tottenham. He played 2 up front at Inter Milan, Lautaro and Lukaku, and he could be looking to partner Nunez with Harry Kane. Champions League football, it becomes a problem. Now, as I've said today in the title, the Darwin Nunez auction will begin. As soon as this guy signed for George Mendes, I said, I don't believe we will get anywhere near signing this guy, because what Mendes will do is create an auction type situation. Half of these teams probably don't even want him, but he'll say Chelsea want him, Tottenham want him. He'll say other teams, he'll go, oh, it was 80 million, but now we want 90 million. We want this, we want that. And what he does very well, George Mendes, and Raiola does the same, they tend to be able to keep the price of a player reasonable so that the money goes in their pocket. You look at George Mendes is Cristiano Ronaldo's agent. He went to Man United for 20 million euros in the summer. I know he's old, but it was still cheap considering how big a player Ronaldo is. You know, De Gea costs 30 million. A number of his players have gone at reasonable prices because he wants the money to go into his pocket. Raiola got that release clause for Haaland because 75 million for one of the highest rated strikers in the world, but you're going to have to put 20, 30 million into Raiola's pocket, 15 million into his dad's pocket, probably 10, 15 million into Haaland's pocket. Mendes knows what he's doing here. Put less money in Benfica's pocket, put more money in his pocket. This is going to be an auction. For me, one thing I would say about this deal, if this deal starts spiraling, Arsenal should just step away from it, in my opinion. That's my opinion. I've watched Darwin Nunez a few times. I think there's a very good player there, a lot of potential, and I can see why a lot of clubs like him. Don't get involved in no auction. Don't spend 3 months chasing a player you're not going to get. Don't do the same thing you did with Vlahovic. Go to him. Do you want to sign for us? How much wages do you want? Would you come to us if we was in Europa League? Would you come if we was in Champions League? This is what we can offer. Are you interested? Now, obviously, he's going to play a waiting game because he's going to want to see what clubs come in for him first. And if we're in Europa League, we're going to be at the back of the dinner queue, people, getting the leftovers. So what I would say to Arsenal, if you want him, go for him. Try and get him done. If you can't, step away from it. We're not going to be in a position to go into an auction, especially if we're in the Europa League. So go and find another option if he doesn't want to come. Dinishin said, Chelsea fan, I don't want an expensive striker, give me a Jota. I hear what you're saying on that. The problem with Jota that we would have, every time Jota plays for Liverpool, he gets clear-cut chances. Liverpool dominate games, they create. You put Jota in our team, I don't think Jota looks that good. He looks like a small little midget running around getting no chances. You put him in Liverpool's team, he looks like an absolute poacher. So it's all about using a player in the right way, not just buying a good player. This is the issue with Arsenal. You know, we've got to get the best out of the player. I think Jota's a fantastic player. I don't think he'd look half the player in this Arsenal team that doesn't create chances. So we have to figure out how to create more. Michael said exactly, Kurt, it's only those who want to play for Arsenal, no auctions. We haven't got time for it because we'll lose the auction if we're in the Europa League, so don't bother with it. Dinner lady gonna be scraping that. Yeah, I'm telling you, the pan gonna get scraped. I say, yo, you got any dessert left? Well, you know, got a little bit of cake stuck to the bottom of the pan, but there's a bit of, it's burnt a little bit at the bottom. I can scrape some of this out and give you a bit of the cold custard, mate. That's all we're getting right now, bruv. We ain't getting that prime cake on the top that's just been baked. It's nice and warm and it melts as you eat it. We're getting that burnt bit of cake at the bottom where they're scraping the pan, where, it just tastes like charcoal at the bottom. That's all we're getting right now, brother. Let me tell you. We're at the back of the queue, man, empty-handed. We got to take whatever they give us. We're getting the back bread and all sorts. We're getting the dry bit of bread. It's all mad, people. It's all mad at Arsenal right now. Ruben said Arsenal are never clever in the transfer window. Who else should we be looking at? That's kind of the question. Who else should we be looking at? The fact he's gone with Mendes. Arsenal have done hardly any business with Mendes and Raiola over the past decade. I think the last player we did with was Mkhitaryan swap deal. And we know how that one worked out. That was a disaster. Football Lover said Curtis Nunez or Osimhen. I like Osimhen more than him, got to be honest, because of the pace. And I'm a pace merchant, people. You ever see it? When you see me streaming on FIFA, mate, everyone in my team's like 90 plus pace. I'm a pace merchant. It'll be more expensive though, but I think you would get a straight run at him. I feel like everyone's on this Nunez, so you're going to end up fighting with about 5 teams to get him. I feel like you can just slide in and sign Osimhen, and just drop the money on Napoli and get the deal done. So I actually would go for Osimhen, but I think he would cost a bit more money. But he's rapid, and I just want pace. I'm still not totally convinced that Darwin Nunez comes to the Premier League and rips it apart. I think the potential's there, the talent's there, but I'm still not totally convinced. But we'll see. Dash Cash said, big up Big C. Thoughts on us possibly going after Lautaro Martinez and Jonathan David. They are both young and hungry to prove themselves again. Jonathan David would be much easier to get. Probably 40, 50 million. He would want to come to us. He would still see us as a step up. Is he good enough? I haven't seen enough of him, to be totally honest, to say about Jonathan David. Some people say he's very good. Some say he's a little bit underwhelming. Lautaro is good. I've always liked him, but I've always said you have to play him in a 2. Played well with Lukaku. He's playing well with Dzeko. He obviously likes having a big man that does the dirty work. Playing him up front by himself in the Prem for Arsenal, I'm not sure how good he would be. I think you would have to change your system. So, but yeah, it's not easy. The striker market is poor right now. There's no value there. Would you take Calvert-Lewin? He'd be low on the list, man. I just too many injuries. He's had a bad season. And, yeah. Nah, not for me. He'd be very low on that list. Maybe if Everton got relegated and you got him for 30 million as your second choice. But first choice, and I think Everton will probably stay up now, I wouldn't go for him personally. Too injury prone, man. Werner is available. Well, Turkish likes him. You know what? He scored 2 goals at the weekend. One thing I'll say about Timo Werner. One thing. And I don't want anybody to think I'm defending him. His movement's unbelievable. And I mean literally. His movement is some of the best in the Premier League as a striker. Anytime you watch Chelsea play, Timo Werner will get chances. He just probably misses them. We scored 2 at the weekend, but he wouldn't be the answer for me because, again, I don't think we'd create enough chances for him. And if he misses chances at Chelsea where they create a lot, he's only going to get worse at Arsenal with less chances, in my opinion. So, no, I wouldn't go for him. Get Lukaku for 75 million. You know the interesting thing? Although with him, his link-up play is not good, but I do think a big physical striker like him is the kind of striker that he would actually want at Arsenal. The only problem with him is the link-up play, man. We know the first touch, sometimes it's Timberland boots business. Mitrovic for me is like, he's the gunman of the Championship. He's got a water pistol when he's in the Premier League. I think he's got 33 goals in the Championship. He comes to the Premier, get you 5 goals. So I wouldn't go near Mitrovic, to be honest. King said, relax with Werner. If he can't score for Chelsea, he'll never score for Arsenal. No lies there, bro. Tuffy Boy said, Broja and Ivan Toney signed both of them. A lot of money there. A lot of money. Chelsea wouldn't let Broja go cheap. He signed a 5-year contract last season. And Ivan Toney, 50 mil plus. 38 goals, Anthony said he's got. Yeah, Origi, I've said many times, I take Origi as second choice. I think he's got a point to prove. I really do. I'm just looking ahead, people. Just looking ahead. Arsenal's next few games. People saying Dybala on a free. I'd be tempted to gamble on him. I can't lie. These are our next 4 games. I'm only looking at the next 4 just to keep things in context. And let's be real, people. That is difficult. It was going to be difficult if Arsenal were in form. It's even more difficult with Arsenal out of form. You put it into context. Southampton, they're in a bad run of form. They've just lost 6-0. As I said, they're a wounded animal. On one hand, they might come back and bite us because their manager's going to have them fired up for it. On the other hand, it could be a team that are so damaged that we can take advantage of it. It just depends how this game goes. If we score first, I think Southampton could disappear. If they score first and St. Mary's starts to make noise and Wood-Prowse is putting Beckham-style deliveries in the box, it could be a long afternoon. And I have to admit, I'm not even confident going into this game after what I've seen in the last week. I've just got to hope that we can score the first goal. It's going to be difficult. Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, don't see it right now. And the only way we can do anything against Chelsea for me is if we beat Southampton, Chelsea maybe get bopped by Real Madrid and somehow confidence turns around and we can go with it. But I just can't see it. With Lacazette up front, I don't know how we beat these teams. I just don't. He has to do something different. For me, you've got to play Martinelli up top or even give Pepe a run out. Smith Rowe had 2 stinkers. Give Pepe a game. Do something different. Now, I want to know in the comments. You know what? Let's get second poll up. Second poll of the day. How many points do you think we get? How many points out of these next 4 games? Out of the next 4 games. How many points? I think I can only put 4 options up. So we'll go 1 to 2 as the first option, 2 to 3, 4 to 5, and then anything above that. 5 or more. There you go, second poll. I got to be honest, if I was betting right now, if you gave me a free bet, the most I see us getting out of that is probably 7. If we're at it, I think we can beat Southampton, beat Man United, maybe get something at West Ham. I think Chelsea's at L. I think Chelsea's at L for us right now. Listen, if we don't beat Southampton, we're not getting more than 3 points out of them next 3, in my opinion. It's going to be a form thing. We've got to win the Southampton game and go into the Chelsea game with confidence. Then hopefully beat United at home. Then West Ham, maybe they're out the Europa League and their head's gone. Slick said 5 points. So what are you saying? 1 win and 2 draws. 1 win and 2 draws you're going for. We ain't beating Man U. The funny thing is, well, I'm the maximum. I'm not saying I think we will get 7. I'm saying as an absolute maximum, I think we could get 7. I would say between 4 and 5, I think we pull out of that. I think we get dealt with at Chelsea. I think we can beat Southampton. We could also draw. I mean, Man U have actually down tools right now. They look like they're not even interested. But the crazy thing is, we played Man United earlier in the season at Old Trafford. They had Michael Carrick managing, and they beat us 3-2. Ronaldo got 2 tap-ins against us. We left him unmarked. So I just don't know. I just don't know where we're going to get out of this. We have to beat Southampton. If we can't beat Southampton, the top 4, anything, I won't even mention top 4 if we can't beat Southampton. Yardman said 3 defeats and 1 draw. Lewis said the maximum is 6, but even that's not happening. Harry said if Xhaka is at left back at Southampton, it's none out of 12. Walid said 3 wins and 1 draw. You're optimistic there, bro. Win against United, draw against West Ham and Southampton. Draw against West Ham and Southampton and lose to Chelsea. Andrew said we can't beat Brighton. Family Podcast said draw, lose, lose, draw. We're lacking confidence right now, aren't we? Oh, Melly said I see 2 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. That's optimistic. It really is. Dre said hopeful me says 9. Reality is 1 to 3 points. I mean, if we came out of them 4 games with 1 to 3 points, I think we'd be 8 or 9 points behind Tottenham going into that North London derby, and that would be top 4, well and truly done and dusted. That could even put us into hanging on to top 6, because West Ham and United are not far behind us. Ash said, but Curtis, what if we get more players injured during the games? It would be worse. And that's another thing. We're down to the bare bones right now. Anyone gets suspended or injured on top of what's already happening, it's mad. We need these players to stay fit now until the end of the season, and that's risky. People's Champ said, win, loss, draw, win. I mean, I'd actually take that. I always said you never read my comments. LOL. There you go, my friend. Hang in there. We'll get there. South London's finally said win, loss, draw, loss. So you're going for 4 points. And I get you. I get you with that. 888 settings. We don't want none of that. Slick Skill said win, lose, draw, draw. Very optimistic. Danny Boy said 7 at best. And Wasim said, if we lose all 4, I'd be intrigued to know what Arteta's fan base say. I don't think we'll lose all 4. I think we'll get a win out of the 4. Justin said, be real, people. 1 draw, 3 losses. Mikel finishes 8th. Yeah, again, he's not having him one bit. Tricky games. Tricky games. That is for damn sure, people. But looking at the Premier League table, if you would have said a week ago, Palace, Brighton, Southampton, with the way we were playing, you would have said we could potentially get 9 points out of them. We can't come out of Southampton with nothing. I mean, Southampton are on a bad run of form. Wrong button. Southampton are a bad run of form. They're 14th in the league. I mean, look at Southampton, people. They haven't won in their last 5. 4 defeats, 1 draw, 52 goals conceded, 11 defeats. They are stinking out the place at the moment. They're lucky they got points earlier in the season. I mean, if we can't go there and win, and they've just lost 6. Curtis, Lacazette Instagram story, eating boxes of donuts. I mean, I have no words, people. To be fair, the donut, it's like a big fat 0 anyway. That's how many goals he scored in about the last 15 games. So he might as well Mark Henry settings, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't blame him. But yeah, we got no excuse. Southampton are stinking out the place. They're even worse than Brighton. They're 1 point behind Brighton. But then Brighton hadn't won a game in how long? And then Arsenal turned up. When you look at this top 7, we have to sincerely make sure we don't end up in the Conference League. I'm being real, people. We got to make sure we don't end up in the Conference League, because we have to make sure that we don't collapse. A lot of people going, yeah, we can still get top 4. I'm looking at it going, yo, make sure we get top 6. Make sure we're in the Europa League. I need somebody to send me a picture of Lacazette eating donuts, by the way. I'm going to have to try and find it. So Lacazette scored 1 goal in 17 games. You're putting up Instagram posts eating donuts. I'm done. I may have to end the stream if I find this picture. I've had enough. Lacazette donuts. Please tell me it's on Twitter. Ah, dear Lacazette. Live scenes of Lacazette trying to sneak donuts. I can't find the picture. Where's the picture? Somebody put the picture up. If anyone's got that picture, send it to me, please. I can't find it. It won't let me log on to Instagram for some reason when I'm on the computer. No, I can't find it. But yeah, Lacazette's eating donuts. To be fair, it sums up his performances lately, to be honest. Come on, I've got to get this. I feel like I can't come off this stream without finding Lacazette putting up pictures of donuts. He's got 3.1 million followers. Come on, surely. Lacazette. Oh, it's on his story, isn't it? It's on his story. I can't find it. If anyone's got it, send it me quickly on Twitter. DMs are open. I'm gonna end the stream on that, by the way, because that sums that guy up. But yeah, when you look at the league table, people, we're only 3 points ahead of Man U and West Ham. If Man United had beat Everton at the weekend, they'd have been level with us. And their running's not that difficult either compared to ours. Let me have a look at their running. Man United. Man U's fixtures. Norwich at home, they'll win that. Liverpool away, they'll lose that. Let me zoom out. Then they've got Arsenal. I mean, anything can happen. That's El Bantico, that is. Brentford at home, Brighton away, Chelsea at home, Palace away, Liverpool and Palace at home. Oh no, have they played that? It's a tricky run, to be fair. Liverpool away, Arsenal away, Brighton away, Chelsea at home, Palace away. It's probably quite a tricky run, actually. I don't actually think Man U will win too many of them, especially the way they're playing. Let's have a look at Tottenham's run. Tottenham's run is easy compared to ours. Brighton at home, they'll smash them 12-30, like we should have done. Brentford away, bit tricky, but I'd still make them favourites. Leicester at home, Liverpool away, Arsenal. So our hope with Tottenham is really these 4 games here. Brentford away, Leicester at home, Liverpool away, Arsenal at home. They're the only 4 games for me that give me any hope. Brighton at home, they'll smash them. They'll smash Burnley and they'll smash Norwich. Those 4 games are our only hope of getting top 4. Brentford, Leicester, Liverpool and Arsenal. If we don't, and then are we going to even win our games? Is the question. You know, our fixtures are more difficult than theirs. Southampton, Chelsea, Man United, West Ham, Leeds at home, Tottenham, Newcastle, Everton. We got to beat Everton, got to beat Newcastle, got to beat Leeds, got to beat Southampton. And then I would say a Man U, Chelsea, West Ham, Tottenham, we got to get 2 wins out of that. Do I see that happening? Probably not. Probably not, if I'm being honest. But that's the only way I can see us doing anything. Check your DMs. People have sent the donuts. I'm going to get the donuts up. Dre said it was there for the taking, but bad management has cost us the points. This last week has hammered our top 4 hopes, but we just got to hope. We got to hope. Let me try and get this Lacazette thing. I haven't seen the picture. Is it just the donuts or is it Lacazette with the donuts? Let me have a look, people. I'm sure some of you have sent it. Let's have a look. Who sent them? Lacazette and the donuts. All right, I've got the picture. Let me get it. He's not in the picture. It would have been funny if it was him with the donuts. But still. Big up to everyone who sent it. So he said, thank you, Arthur Okonkwo. That's obviously the goalkeeper. The sub-goalkeeper. And there you go, Lacazette, 2 hours ago. Thank you, Arthur Okonkwo. Then he puts up a picture of the donuts with his Krispy Kreme donuts. And he's ate 4 of them. And he's replaced the pictures with 4 circles. And it's probably right that Lacazette ate 4 of them because he scored 4 goals this season. So 4 donuts, 4 circles, you know. Maybe he's trying to tell us something. 4 donuts for his 4 goals. Homer Simpson settings, people. Man said, dope. Man's had more goals than donuts. Man's got more donuts than goals this year, people. Yeah, he's enjoying his Krispy Kremes. But he's certainly not eating when it comes to goals in the Premier League. That is for damn sure. He's starving when it comes to goals. So, yeah, Homer Simpson, Homer Zet. And Lacafret watches your streams, yeah. That's what they say. Someone said that to me the other day. They go, oh, don't criticise Lacazette. He probably watches your streams and loses all his confidence. That's what somebody actually messaged me the other day. I said, I don't know what's going on in the world right now. I really don't. I'm sure Lacazette's got way more things to concentrate on than worrying about my stream. Chief Wiggum settings, man, I'm telling you. Man's on a stakeout at the Emirates. Just sitting outside, just licking down donuts. Duncan Zet. Don't-Kazette. Man's mashing donuts, fam, but ain't scoring goals. It's madness. But yeah, somebody told me the other day, don't criticize Lacazette because apparently I'm damaging his confidence and he watches my streams. That's what they told me. So society we live in, eh? Society we live in. And before I finish, I wanted to ask you all about this just quickly before we get out of here. Let me end that poll, by the way. I don't know if any of you have seen this Cristiano Ronaldo situation that's going off. I just wanted your thoughts on this before we get out of here. Man said Crispy Zet. Cristiano Ronaldo slapped this kid's phone out of his hand at Everton. Coming off the pitch, they've lost the game. He had an ice pack on his leg. He was injured. And this kid leans over, puts a phone in his face. He's trying to take a picture of him. And Ronaldo slaps the phone out of the kid's hand, breaks the phone. The kid's 15 years of age. So Ronaldo comes out the day after, puts out a public apology. He's reached out to the kid's family and said, I want to invite you and your family to a game. You sit in his box at Old Trafford, food, drink, transport. He's going to buy him a new phone. And that's the end of it as far as Ronaldo's concerned. The kid's mum has come out today. I don't know if anybody's seen this. The kid's mum has come out today and said, I'm not bothered about going to the game. I'm not bothered about you buying him a new phone. She's saying that the kid's got bruising on his arms and she wants to press police charges against Ronaldo for assault. And it started a massive debate all over social media. I was watching this particular program on YouTube. Now, I've got to be honest. My initial reaction was, come on, man. Like, he ain't bruised his arm. He slapped the phone. He's going to buy you a phone. He's going to bring you to the ground. He'll sign a shirt, sign the boots. You'll make money off it. Blah, blah, blah. Keep it moving. But then somebody put it to me. They said, you know what? You're a parent yourself. If he did that to Cruz, or if a stranger did that to him in the street, what would you do? Number one, you'd be on smoke if it was in the street. But number two, don't let him off just because he's famous. And I was like, raw, do you know what? I never looked at it like that. But how do you see it, people? Is this just a parent trying to make peas? Or should Ronaldo be getting licked down with a court case? I feel like Ronaldo is going to have to write a check out of court. And apparently the kid's autistic as well, which, you know, it does not look good on Ronaldo. The kid's 15. I don't believe he's got bruising on his arm, though. I watched the video back. He clearly just slaps the phone out of his hand. Barely touches the guy's arm. But I said, haven't you heard, Curtis? It's slapping season. Oh, my days. Broad said, yeah, but if someone's kid is troubling big people, what does he think? But then I suppose the problem is, you're walking off the pitch, the man's got a phone. He's a kid, he's recording Ronaldo, innit? He's gassed. I'm sure Ronaldo walks everywhere and people pull their phones out and record him. I don't know. Man are saying, don't hate the player, hate the game. What are you saying, Ronaldo, man? You got to run some peas. How B said, I'll see you in court, CR7, 50 G's. Oh, man, it's sad, isn't it? Because clearly, yeah, the mum is saying, you know what I mean, I'm getting paid out of this. There's a picture of the kid's hand. It's slightly purple. I reckon when that kid got home, mum was like, listen, man, put your arm out. She took that belt off and said, listen, this is going to hurt a little, but it's going to benefit us long term. Bang! She put a big bruise on that arm, man. And, but hey, it is what it is. Deshaun said, Curtis, over here in America, if any professional athlete does that to a fan and breaks their property, they're getting sued. Physical contact was made. That's all that mum needs to make. Yeah, it's true. You know what, Ronnie? I'm not even going to lie. The game's the game, fam. I can't even lie. It's sad, you know. It's sad because my initial reaction was, come on, she's milking it. But you know what, Ronnie? You put yourself in that position, man, and he's a kid. You got to write a check. Man's got to write a check still. I can't lie, man. He's going to have to put 70, 80 grand down on a check to keep that mum quiet. To be fair, inviting the kid to watch Manchester United, that's probably punishment at the moment. Who the hell wants to go to Old Trafford and watch that Man United team? If he invited me to watch Man United, I'd say, relax, man. I don't want that. I got enough going on already. I don't want to watch Man United play football. So, yeah, man's going to have to run the peas still. Aditya said, Curtis, mate, she's trying to secure the bag. Listen, the kid's 15. He's autistic. If there's a bruise there, there's a bruise there. It is what it is, people. Run the peas, man. He's going to have to write a check, but it is what it is. Listen, they're going to go on a good holiday this summer. That is for damn sure. But anyway, thought I'd ask you for that before we get out of here. Do you know what? If you're watching this back, let me know in the comments. What's your thoughts on that Ronaldo situation? Man said 25 to life. Oh, my days. Yeah, the kid's an Everton fan. He was an Everton fan. Going to take my nephew to the Bernabeu so Benzema can slap him. I'm telling you, youths will keep doing this now, you know. Yeah, just put your hand in his face. Come on, Ronnie, slap my arm. I can't wait for Arsenal v Man United at the Emirates this season, mate, you know. After the game, you might see me leaning over in Ronaldo's face. Come on, Ronnie, I'll just be waving the... Oh, Ronnie, mate, Messi's better than you, mate. Come and slap my phone. Oh, he's bruised my arm. Hey, don't hate the player, hate the game, people. I'll see you in court. Listen, people, we're out of here. We're out of here. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hour and 5 minutes. 1,500 of you in the chat. Lick down that like button. 7:45 tonight. Champions League watch along. Chelsea against Real Madrid. Oh, it's Real Madrid against Chelsea. Real Madrid are the home team. Make sure you tune in for that. Make sure you watch Talk is Cheap. We did it live today at 12 o'clock. Tomorrow we'll be back at 2 o'clock rather than 2:45. We'll also be doing Man City Atletico watch along tomorrow night. So big up to all of you. Enjoy your day. And don't let Arsenal get you down, people. They're just not worth it. But let's hope this weekend we go and beat Southampton. Enjoy the rest of your day, people. 7:45 tonight, Real Madrid against Chelsea. Benzema settings. I'm off to find Ronaldo at the training ground. I need a new phone. Bless.